Mass shootings seem like a weekly event, but what hasn't changed is a need to support victims and their families after the attention fades. While providing help to the communities experience the unthinkable, joining us now to discuss how their organization, Victims First, offers direct help from mass shootings, families, and the communities that experience them is Anita Busch, president and co-founder, Victims First, and key co-founder of the National Compassion Fund. Good morning, Anita.
Good morning. How are you?
It's great to talk to somebody from the area, Granite City. Welcome to our
Granite
show.
City. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Anita, can you share your personal story of how you got involved in this mission?
Sure. 10 years ago, my cousin Michaela was murdered in a mass shooting in the theater in Aurora, Colorado, during the midnight screening of A Dark Knight Rises. And after that, we realized that there wasn't a lot of victim care out there, and we needed to help the next set of unfortunate families if we could. So we gathered families from Columbine and Virginia Tech and Northern Illinois University and Oak Creek Sikh Temple and also eventually Newtown. And we came together and we decided we were going to change the way victims were treated and try to help communities understand what victims need. Then in 2017, there was another mass shooting that hit our family. And that was when Stacy survived the Vegas mass shooting, running through a hail of bullets, but she survived. So this is a very personal mission for me.
Your organization is made up of people who have personally been affected by a mass casualty event. How important is that to the work you do?
It's vitally important because we are the ones who have lived through this. We are the ones who have firsthand experience of what helps and what harms. So we are able to help victims stay on their feet. We are able to find the resources. We know that the resources will be needed immediately, like trauma specialists. And we also are able to help communities behind the scenes, step by step, with guidance.
Now, how can we prevent re victimizing people who are already victims of these tragedies?
One of the things is very important is when people give, because that's, people are so generous in this country. So when people give, we would ask them to ask questions. Where is their dollar going? Where are their hard-earned wages going? Is it going directly to victims? We urge communities to start a centralized victims fund. It drives down, it gets rid of almost any fraudulent fundraisers and money collecting. And what happens is that money goes in, 100% goes out to victims directly in cash payments, so the victims themselves can cope and manage their trauma in the only way they know. They know what's good for them, and it provides privacy and dignity.
Now, what do communities need to know in advance in case a mass tragedy event visits them?
You know, there are people who believe in communities who think that nothing's going to happen in their community until it does, and once it does, there's no plan in place. So we would encourage people to look at victimsfirst.org, look at our best practices for mass casualty crime. It's a step-by-step guide of what to do in case your community is hit by a mass shooting. And it also allows you to organize. It teaches, it shares how to organize in the best interests of the victims themselves so people are not re-victimized.
Now, how can people help your mission and where can they go for more information?
Well, we'd really appreciate the help. We all work for free. We work pro bono, and we have a general victims fund. And that fund, 100% of what goes into that, 100% goes out to the victims. We help with anything from somebody on their 20th surgery, catastrophically injured, who can't pay their bills anymore. We help with in the immediate aftermath for food and grocery money and keeping people on their feet because you can't work. And in some cases, families' income is cut in half when one of the parents is murdered. So we have that. We also have an administration fund, and that helps us get to places like Uvalde, where we are now. This is our third trip down when communities need help and victims need help. So, if anyone in the area where I grew up would like to help, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on Morning Blend. Anita Busch, president and co founder of Victims First. Thank you again.
Thank you.